Good morning, everybody. Good morning. What a spectacular day to be in Rochester. You guys certainly know how to serve up the good weather. My name is Marie-Therese Dominguez. I have the distinct honor of serving as Commissioner of the New York State Department of Transportation. It's truly great to be with you all today. I want to thank all of our elected leaders and all of our community members that are here today. In particular, County Executive Adam Bello and Chairman of our new Chairman for the Transportation Committee in the Senate, Jeremy Cooney. Thank you very much. There's such an incredible buzz of activity and energy. I hope you guys got to experience it. Some of you call it the concern of construction, and I call it the excitement of construction that's going on. It's really, really contagious. And that's all thanks to the incredible investment in our upstate airports that our Governor, Kathy Hochul, is literally leveraging across the state. And no one is doing more to invest in aviation, especially in our upstate airports, than Governor Hochul, and I just really want to thank you for your leadership. With $230 million in the latest round of upstate airport economic development and revitalization competition funds, say that 6 times fast, all of which are administered by New York State DOT, the governor is truly investing in New York's future, and it's truly transforming about 9 airports in this round of investment across the state, including $38 million here in Rochester. The ultimate goal, of course, is to transform the entire campus here at Frederick Douglass Airport with modern architecture, modern aesthetics, and specialty areas that acknowledge the history, the rich cultural history here, including honoring our veterans and certainly Frederick Douglass himself. As someone who once worked for the FAA, I know firsthand that you can never underestimate the power of airports to truly transform regional economies. They're much more than just runways and terminals. Airports are truly gateways, front doors, if you will, that truly lead to economic development and community prosperity. And that's why connecting people to such a wonderful experience here at Rochester is what this project is all about. The Finger Lakes region has a ton to offer visitors, so much to do and see, so much beauty, all 4 seasons of the year. But airports are also, again, economic engines. And when I talk about an economic engine, this one in particular generates $621 million worth of economic activity in this region alone. So you have a lot to be proud of and a lot more to grow and a lot more opportunities for the Rochester area. Long story short, this project is truly moving the Finger Lakes forward, and there's no one who's doing more to invest in this region and in the great state of New York writ large than our Governor, Kathy Hochul. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Governor Kathy Hochul. Thank you, Governor.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Commissioner Dominguez, we are so fortunate to have you leading an agency that a lot of people don't think about every day. They may not think about that the roads and the bridges are functioning, that our airports are looking spectacular and functioning well, but you are at the center of everything that makes this state run so efficiently and effectively. And I want to give you a special round of applause. We have been through so many winter storms together and flooding events and trying to repair the damage of Mother Nature when she's unleashing her fury on us, as she often does here. But thanks for being a champion of all things that move here in the state of New York. Let's give another round of applause here. I've always believed in the power of making first impressions, right? You have one chance to make a first impression. And for visitors who come to a region, their first impression is when they touch down on the plane, step out into the airport, and have a chance to see whether it's a community that believes in itself, has a sense of pride that they matter, or a facility that has been disinvested and just sort of lost its luster. Well, I'm so proud because of what we're announcing here today, the completion of a massive project that we unveiled a couple years ago, to say that this area truly believes in itself, as I do. So give yourselves a round of applause for showing for others that this is a place that matters. And for people who live here, it's not a first impression. It's the biggest welcome home mat they'll find. And again, it changes the psychology of a community when you invest in places like this and you get that sense that, wow, that's really fantastic. That's cool. I mean, look at these renderings. Look what we've achieved here. The Finger Lakes, Monroe County, Rochester, they all matter tremendously, and they matter so much to me. And I want to thank the people who've always believed in this area. It's been a long journey, long journey. Those of us who are considerably older than the rest of you remember the good, the decline, and now we have the comeback. And it is extraordinary. As someone from Buffalo who always looked at envy at Rochester, you need to know this. My dad and grandpa worked at the steel plant. They were the blue-collar workers. And Rochester had the white-collar shirts, the white collars, right? You know, think about the legacy industries here. You know, Bausch and Lomb, Eastman Kodak, and all those companies that were powerhouses here, that people just started when they were young and finished their careers. I mean, this was what we did here in upstate New York, all across. And then global competition, companies went elsewhere. We lost people. Our greatest export became our human capital. But I will say, I know the leaders here. They never, ever gave up in believing in this community, investing in this community, saying, no, no, we matter. Don't forget us. And now you have a governor who actually knows Rochester. First upstate governor in 100 years. This is not new to me. I don't need a GPS to come here. This is my home. And I'm so proud to be able to make investments to transform this airport into a modern, efficient, welcoming space. But again, it doesn't happen without the people of a community standing up and saying, help us. We have a plan. This is our vision. I also want to thank, in addition to the commissioner, Jeremy Cooney, who is now the transportation chair. Do not underestimate the power of this position in the state government. Anything you want, anything, you go to him. He'll give out his cell phone right afterward, I'm sure. My other partners in government, Assemblymember Jen Lunsford, thank you for being here, Jen. Great to see you. And of course, as a former county official down the road in Erie County, I love my county officials, and I'll be introducing Adam Bello in a moment, but thank you for helping steward and shepherd this project through from the very beginning. And Jamie Romeo, our county clerk, former county clerk, where's Jamie? Jamie, at the end of the aisle there. Hi, Jamie. Yaversha Roman, the Monroe County Legislature President. Give a round of applause as well. There, we got to thank all of our county legislators. All the county legislators, please raise your hand. I know there's a lot of you county legislators. Great to see you. And of course, the business community matters. Bob Duffy, representing the face of business, the CEO of the Rochester Chamber of Commerce and the Finger Lakes REDC co-chair. Thank you for being a friend for so many years. And of course, you need the team on the ground here. Andy Moore, the airport director, who helped visualize the possibilities of what we could do here, and all of my local team who helped make that happen, Vinny Esposito and others who always part of these important projects. And guess who builds these, right? They don't just get built when you want them to build. The Rochester Building and Construction Trades. Let's give them a round of applause for their work. And Grant Malone, who's here today. Congratulations, congratulations. Speaking of the importance of the men and women of labor, I do want to acknowledge we lost an important labor leader just this past week. Dan DiClemente have asked me, Council 66, just to take a second to let his family know that he's forever with us. His contributions will never be forgotten. So that's a hard hit for our community here. So it's Friday. I'm back in Rochester. I was here on Monday, and it's hard to leave. It's hard to leave a place that has so much energy. And it started out with this incredible opening of Constellation Brands global headquarters, Fortune 500 company right in downtown Rochester. If that's not a shot in the arm, if that's not a symbol of confidence that is now going to have a contagious effect on other companies that thinking where they want to go. Why did they go there? Let's examine what they have here. Plenty of natural resources, the beauty that is unsurpassed, the talented workforce, the ideas and innovation that come out of a region that's been built on this, that built companies for decades and decades because of the creativity of its people. That's why they're here, and that's why others will follow, and that's why we need a world-class airport to welcome them. So this matters extraordinarily. Also, we get a chance to showcase what we have here, the Strong Museum of Play. I've been going to for many years, since my kids were little, and now they have kids. What a transformation there as well. I mean, if I could just have a couple more hours, I'd love to just go play today. That's where I want to spend my time. It just reminds us all, to a core, we're children. We all have this sense of just fun and connecting with families. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. And or you go to the zoo, or you go to a Red Wings game, you go to Highland Park. I know this place has so much. And again, I've seen the ups and downs. We are up, my friends. We are so up, and we're going further. We are soaring now with this incredible project that we can talk about. And this growth and this achievement, it's happened over 7 years ago. This was started. The entrance, the security checkpoint, the concessions, they're transformed forever. Someone who's not visited here in a number of years, their jaws will drop when they walk through those doors. They truly will. And that's what the kind of experience we want people to have, that sense of wonder, like, wow, this is happening in Rochester. So, as I mentioned, it's the first thing you see. It's the last impression you have if you're a visitor and you're deciding to say, well, I want to bring my business here. Do I want to invest here? Do I want to become part of the supply? Do I want to be part of this whole ecosystem? Because let me tell you this, the ecosystem has changed dramatically in this region. Yes, Rochester has always been that hotbed of innovation, but now it's expanding outward. Think about what's happening with semiconductors, just a short jump down the road. Other parts of our state, an hour and a half is their daily commute one way. So no one thinks anything like Rochester, Syracuse, Buffalo, what we're doing with artificial intelligence, what we're doing with semiconductors and Micron, the ripple effect, the spin-off effects. I'm telling you, my friends, you're going to look back at this moment in history and say, that's when everything shifted rapidly. We're blasting into the future. And projects like this, the $230 million we've announced statewide, but also the $18 million directly for Rochester, a $38 million project, we are finally starting to say we're getting it done. No more renderings, no more pretty pictures. It's real. It's coming to life. And that's why I'm so proud to be here. Our local partners, our federal partners, our Congressman Joe Morelli couldn't be here today, but there's always federal money behind these projects. Let's thank him for being such a great champion. And again, we're going to be bringing in natural light, a sense of awe, a sense of beauty, and something that this area has always long deserved. It also gives us a chance to honor our heroes, our returning veterans, that they have a place, that they feel at home and welcome. And I will tell you, having served on the Armed Services Committee and meeting with people in the theater of combat in Afghanistan, when they come back, they're often forever changed. They need some time to just decompress. And their first time coming off the plane back home, because we send a lot of people are proud Americans and they want to serve their country. They come from our rural areas, the Finger Lakes, this county. They just need a place to meet their families perhaps for the first time in a long time. And so we're offering that to them. That's showing who we are as a people. It's showing our priorities, what we value. We value the service of the 1% of Americans who step up to defend the 99% of the rest of us. So that's why I'm so proud of this as well. Also honoring our past history as well. Frederick Douglass, I was here not that long ago to look at the statue and the mural and just people who may not know this history. We all take it for granted, right? The rest of the world needs to know these stories. He's known as a national leader, but he's ours. We have to continue to remind people what we have up in this area, not far from Seneca Falls, and leaders of the women's rights movement started here, Susan B. Anthony. So this is such a proud point for me to brag about. You don't know how often I brag about this area when I'm elsewhere. So we're going to continue reminding people of this legacy, the stories, and making connections smoother. So the Commissioner announced it's about connecting people and places. That's what we do with projects like this. And I'm so delighted that we could offer this gift to the community. It's really a gift, and let them know how much we care. It makes a tangible difference in people's lives. So, my friends, we're ready for takeoff. We're ready to soar, and there's no stopping us now. So thank you very much for being patient. Let's sing this through. And again, a whole new era has unfolded here today in Rochester. Thank you. A county executive who has made a profound difference in his community. Do not take that for granted. I've been in politics for many, many decades. There are a few who stand out as true leaders, who get their communities through the toughest of times with something that is rather unique in politics, an undying spirit of optimism. When have you ever seen Adam Bella when he wasn't smiling? He is one of the happiest, most genuinely forward-thinking, visionary, but also just has that sense of can-do in his spirit. And that's something that helps lift all of us up. I treasure our friendship and your leadership, and we are blessed to have you. Ladies and gentlemen, your County Executive, Adam Bello.
Thank you, Governor Hochul, and I'm always smiling because there's always great things happening in Monroe County, and it's because of our great partnership that we have with New York State. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's give a big round of applause to our great Governor, Kathy Hochul. A couple of thoughts I want to share. First, I want to recognize a couple other partners that we have in government here as well. Our president of the Monroe County Legislature, Eversha Roman, our majority leader, Mike Udelson, and our minority leader, Steve Brew, and all the members of the county legislature. Let's give them a round of applause as well. None of this is possible without their help and support. And I want to say, I started the week out this past Monday, standing pretty much right here at the airport to talk about the many investments that are being made to increase accessibility and modernize Monroe County's infrastructure. So it's fitting now that I get to end my week, although actually we have a lot to do tomorrow, but we're going to end our week here to announce the many improvements we're making here at the Frederick Douglass Greater Rochester International Airport, and to also recognize Governor Hochul for her help and support in making these improvements possible. So I want to thank Governor Hochul, the members of the state legislature, our new chairman, Jeremy Cooney, Jen Lunsford, and the whole team for securing the state support for our airport upgrades. The governor has been and continues to be a champion for Monroe County and Albany. This is actually the governor's now second trip. I get to stand with her this week alone in Monroe County because we cut the ribbon earlier this week at Constellation Brands, their new corporate headquarters, and it was really just a month or two ago that we joined together to break ground at the Fairlife construction site as well. These are now global companies that are recognizing the benefit of doing business here in Monroe County, being recognized all around the globe, because this truly is a great place to do business. And they're successful here because of the constant presence that we have from our partnership with state government, and it's a statement of confidence that the state has and that these companies have in our future. The governor also mentioned all these fun things that we can do in Rochester, the zoo, the Red Wings, Highland Park, all those wonderful amenities that we have, but all of those are also the beneficiary of that partnership of state investments that our governor and our delegation have secured. So thank you, Governor Hochul, for your commitment, your partnership, and helping us to grow this region. I also want to thank my team, led by my Deputy County Executive, Jeff McCann, our Airport Director, Andy Moore, Steve Bars, Bill Johnston, Tom Mann, the whole aviation team, our airport firefighters. They do such a wonderful job. This airport is truly a gem. In fact, last year, USA Today readers voted our airport as one of the 10 best small airports in the country. In 2023, that's a significant thing. Last year in 2023, more than 2.6 million individuals traveled through our airport. Many of them, as the governor said, this is their first impression and the last impression of our community. So we need to ensure that their experience speaks to the quality of our region. And I worked with the team here at the airport when, after I first got elected, to start really looking aggressively to identify what are those amenities, how can we help make this airport really a first-class project. And the $18 million in grant funding that was provided by New York State. This is a strategic investment that will improve customer experience, it will save time, and it will modernize our airport. The increased use of our airport, it's for economic growth. It gets attention by the airlines as well. Over the last year, we've added flights for airlines such as Avelo, Spirit, Southwest, to prime destinations such as Fort Lauderdale, Greenville, South Carolina, and my personal favorite, we now have a direct flight to Las Vegas. The governor, That's right. Andy was very proud to call me with that one. He was very anxious. The governor just mentioned some of the improvements that we're adding to the airport. You can see these beautiful renderings here to my right. And these are all part of enhancing the traveler's experience. And this matters. Infrastructure like this matters. When we invite people from around the country and around the world, when we hosted the PGA Championship just last year, hopefully we'll be welcoming the PGA again in future years. We have the International Jazz Festival happening right now as I speak. Individuals from around the world, some of the most talented people in the world are coming through our airport right now. The Fringe Festival will be here in just a couple of months. Those visitors are coming through the Frederick Douglass Greater Rochester International Airport, and they're seeing what Rochester here is all about. You know, and some of these new amenities that we have, the new guidance system, when I first got elected to this office, what did I do? I took my family to Disney World. That's what you do. And I came back home, I said, Andy, they had this great guidance system at their parking lot at Disney Springs. Why can't we do that here? And look at that, we're doing it here. So now you don't have to, now, right, you listen, you did what you were supposed to do. So now you don't have to just keep driving around in circles figuring out where to park. After you park, now you don't have to stand in the rain. You go under the canopy and you're protected. Once you're inside, that new user-friendly app that we have is going to get you all the information you need. So if you're in a hurry and you're getting through our airport, you're going to get there even quicker. And then, as the governor mentioned as well, we're also paying tribute in honor to those who really made a lasting impact, not just in our community, but around the world. Luminaries like Frederick Douglass, a historical global leader of the abolitionist movement who hailed from right here in Rochester, New York. We're now telling his story to those visitors who are joining us here. So these improvements, they are going to continue to positively impact the experience at the airport. They're eliminating many of those annoyances and stressors that we all have when we travel. And it's going to make the jobs of people like Bob Duffy and Mal Hurlbut and all of them who are working to bring these businesses from around the world and get them set up here in Rochester, it's going to make our sales pitch that much easier. So through the governor's support for these projects, not only are we going to keep the airport in the top 10 small airports nationally, but we are also going to provide our airport customers with a first-class traveling experience to and from Rochester. And so before I close, I also want to thank the men and the women of the Rochester building and construction trades. This project is getting done on time, on budget, and it's getting done right because of the men and women and local labor who know how to get a project done. So I want to thank you, Grant Malone. I want to thank all the members of the building trades for working with us. Our goal is always, when we work with our partners to secure state dollars and local dollars to do construction projects here, our goal is always to put local labor to work and reinvest those dollars right back into our local workforce. And I want to thank you, and thank you for working with us on a successful project labor agreement on this project as well. So again, thank you, Governor Hochul, and I want to thank our partners in the state legislature. Please come back as we continue to do these improvements. You'll utilize these. You're in Rochester all the time, and you get to see all of our progress as we go. So thanks again. I now have the honor and privilege to invite up here another one of our friends here in state government, without who these types of announcements and these dollars here today would not be possible. The governor said he's now in a powerful position. That's right, Jeremy. You got to walk around with your checkbook now. The chair, he's the new chair of the Transportation Committee in the New York State Senate. But this is important because infrastructure is critical to our region. It's critical for jobs. It's critical for the economy, and it's critical as we continue to modernize our community here, and to have the chairman of the Transportation Committee hail from Rochester, New York, I know means great things are coming here in our future. And we're going to continue to have groundbreakings, ribbon cuttings, just like this as we make these critical investments in our infrastructure. So please welcome Senator Jeremy Cooney.
Well, thank you, County Executive, and happy Friday, everyone. Happy Jazz Fest. Delighted to have the governor here. Governor, we always love seeing you here because it means good things are happening. And Commissioner, thank you for your leadership. We know how hard you've been working and appreciate all the good things you're going to continue to do for the greater Rochester community. The County Executive is absolutely correct, is that this is an opportunity to rebuild New York. The dollars that are on the table from the Biden administration, the leadership that we're seeing in Albany from the Hochul administration presents an awesome opportunity for communities in upstate New York like Rochester that see the opportunity and the positivity and the vision that this governor has had. To believe in ourselves again, to know that our future has a bright opportunity ahead of us if we build the community for what we want to be. We can't just wait for these opportunities or climate migrants to come along. We have to be intentional now to prepare for that population shift. We have to be more aggressive about attracting and retaining population, and especially in upstate New York, than we have in the past. You know, Governor, you talked about your envy of Rochester when you were young in Buffalo, and I think vice versa. I'm still not over the 716 area code transfer. But we know that we work so much better together. And it's no longer about Rochester versus Buffalo or Buffalo versus Rochester. It's about Rochester versus Raleigh, North Carolina. It's about Rochester versus Georgia, and Texas, and California. We have to be more competitive as a state and continue to build across New York. And in this role that I have in transportation, that's the opportunity that we're seeing. So it's not just here in Rochester. Under this administration's leadership, we're doing this in Buffalo, we're doing this in Syracuse, we're doing this on Long Island, we're doing this in the Hudson Valley. We are ready and preparing to make sure that this front door for New York is welcoming and inclusive. And I think it's incredibly important at this moment in time. Here we are, school has just let out. Families are thinking about summer vacation. They're going to be coming to this airport. Bob Duffy and the Rochester Chamber of Commerce knows how important our regional airports are to attracting new businesses to come, but also keeping our businesses here. And for our community leaders in the room, I see my good friends Sanjay Hiranandani, who travel every other week around the world. The convenience factor of our airports are so incredibly important. So what we're doing here today is that modernization that the governor spoke about. But it's also a nod to the values of Frederick Douglass. Inclusion, patriotism. These are the values that make his legacy so important that we would rename our airport after him. And when our physical structure embodies those values and showcases that to the rest of the world, then we're doing something right. So again, I want to thank Governor Hochul for her tremendous leadership in rebuilding New York and investing dollars in Monroe County and Rochester. And Governor, my promise to you is you keep showing up here, we'll keep doing our work in the legislature to make sure you have the resources to do all the good things you're doing across New York State. So my role here is ended, and my role now is to say happy Friday. Enjoy your weekend. See you on Jazz Fest Street, and we hope that you will continue to support and promote all the wonderful things that happens at the Frederick Douglass International Airport. Thanks so much. Have a great day. Have a good weekend.